Question 14. Your classmate Leo was absent from one of his math lessons. Explain to Leo how to determine the cosecant of an angle in standard position, given that the point -3, 4 is a point on the terminal arm of the angle. So what makes this question difficult, or a little more challenging than previous years, is they want you to explain this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two things. I'm actually going to solve or figure out what the cosecant is, and at the same time I'm going to write the steps of what I'm doing on the side here. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to write back 3, down 4. Okay, so I'm going to draw my point, and I'm going to connect that to the origin. So the first step is plot the point -3, 4, -4 in the coordinate plane. All right. The second thing is I'm going to continue making my triangle. When you make your triangle, draw it to the x-axis. Right? Your right angle always comes from the x-axis. So make your triangle. And so in making my triangle, I'm going to go from origin to point, and then you're going to go from point to x-axis. See, this always gives you your right angle, right perpendicular to the x-axis, or the angle is formed with the x-axis. All right, so the next thing I need to do is put in the values of this. So I'm going to put in, well, this is down, so the back 3, the -3, really this is the distance along the x-axis. The -4 actually goes over here because that's the distance you fell. So this is a little easier. It's a 3, 4, 5. Right? We could use Pythagoras to get the 5, but it is a 3, 4, 5. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5. So next thing you're going to do now, again, is put in the lengths. Put in lengths of each side and calculate hypotenuse. Okay, and then the fourth thing, whenever I think of cosecant, I actually start with the reciprocal function. So if I were doing this, I would go sine theta, and now I want to think of the quadrant. The quadrant is all students take calculus, so tan is positive. That means my ratio is negative. So sine would be, right, we always do this from the origin, so it's opposite. So sine would be 4 over hypotenuse. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, and this is good transference of grade 11, just a continuation on grade 11, because you would have did this in grade 11. Calculate the sine ratio, right? Calculate sine ratio using opposite over hypotenuse, and we want to remember the negative part. So the quadrant gives you the sine, and that's SIGN, right? The positive negative part of ratio. And then the last part is really easy, right? If we have the sine of theta, then the cosecant, we just flip it around. So the cosecant is negative 5 over 4. Okay? The cosecant is ratio is going to be is the reciprocal of the sine ratio. And you know, if you wanted to just combine steps 4 and 5, you could use that cosecant as hypotenuse over opposite, remembering again to keep in be aware of the quadrant that you're in. So I think this sums it up. Okay, so hopefully these steps, if we gave them to Leo, he could figure out this problem for himself.